What's up, everybody? Happy Wednesday. Hope all you're having a great day so far. Getting into this episode of GH, I do agree with Jax on one thing that Jocelyn needs to make a decision about where she's gonna go to college. Because Carly wanted her to pick a college or whatever. Even if she couldn't go to her first choice, that she wanted, there's still other good schools that she can choose. A lot of people didn't get accepted into the first college that they applied for, their dream school. That's fine. Dust yourself off and get into another one. There's plenty of good schools out there. Um, and she's gonna have to pick one rather quickly because it's like you're getting ready to graduate soon. So time is of the essence right now. Like, if you want to get into the fall semester and stuff, you got to start getting the ball rolling right now. Can't wait. And I do agree with Carly on that. Her going to the school that wasn't her first choice, it still can be good for her. It still can be a good experience for her. And I'm glad, she decided to go to PCU, which I figured she would choose PCU. Um, here's the thing though with Jax and Carly. I'm trying to be fair because it's not a one. I'm seeing things from both points of view. I'm seeing things from both sides. I see things from Carly's side, and I see things from Jax's side. Doesn't make him totally right, but it doesn't make him totally wrong either. Um, I understand that he was irritated or whatever by the fact that they're trying to help their daughter figure out her college situation, and Carly just keeps getting these phone calls from her people about mob business. And she got to keep excusing herself to take a call or whatever. And he was getting irritated by it because he felt like, okay, this is more important than what's going on over there. This is about our daughter and her future. I get that. I get where you're coming from with that. I do. But, for him, to sit there and get mad at Carly talking about, oh, because Jocelyn, she moped off or whatever, and Carly was wondering why she was so upset. And Jax was like, maybe it's because you're too busy playing mob boss rather than being a mother, basically. Um, I didn't like that he pretty much put that out there because he makes it seem like she's a horrible mother or whatever. It's like she's trying to be everything to everybody right now. She's trying to be a businesswoman. She's trying to be a mob boss. She's trying to be an attentive parent. You know what I mean? It's a lot to do. And I'm kind of happy that Carly is busy with this because I always said a million times Carly, needed something more to do with her time because she always used to be in Michael business all the time. So now that she's preoccupied with this, now that she's preoccupied with this over here, now Michael got some breathing room to handle his business over here with Willow and Wiley and all that stuff. So that's good. He ain't got her all up in his Kool-Aid. Um, but I just couldn't stand that Jax put that out there. I'm like, he makes it seem like Carly stepped up to be a mob boss um, for selfish reasons, which is not what it is. She didn't become a mob boss or active mob boss to gain money or whatever the case, power and money. That's not what it was. You know what I mean? She did not do this for selfish reasons. She did this for the long haul, like for the longevity of her family. You know what I'm saying? She saw the bigger picture, and that's what Jax is not seeing. She did this because she had no choice. Well, she had a choice, but if she would have chose something else, it would have been the wrong choice. Because what Jax doesn't realize is if Carly didn't step up, with Sonny being MIA, Jason on the run, the Corinthos organization would have failed. Cyrus would have been there to pick up the pieces, and that's what that town does not need. That's what Jax should not want. And I've always said this, as much as people complain about Sonny or whatever, it's better for him to be in charge rather than not be in charge, or at least Carly or whoever. Jason, any one of them to be in charge, because if you got somebody, if this was 10 years ago and you had Anthony Zakara running Port Charles, please. No. And here we are over 10 years later, and now, Cyrus is trying to make a move and trying to run the town or whatever. That's what you don't need, and that's what Jax needs to understand. he needs to see the bigger picture. If Cyrus takes control of Port Charles, that's bad for everybody because you got 17-year-old kids out here overdosing on drugs. You know what I'm saying? They're sitting here dying off of the product that he's trying to push through that town. So if he gets his way and pushing more product through the town, that's bad. That is so bad because right now a small dose of that drug is getting into the town and he's using the hospital to do it. But if he fully gets control and lets all of his drugs get through, like every ounce of it, you're gonna see a lot more deaths in that town. And Jax these are people that are around his daughter's age, and that's what he needs to see. And not only that, but without the protection of the mafia, Carly, the kids, everybody's vulnerable to Cyrus without backup. You know what I'm saying? If she lost the organization, they would lose all their mob protection. Cyrus could kill all of them, kidnap, do whatever. That's what Jackson needs to understand. This is not about selfishness. This is not wanting to chase after some type of power. This is about preserving the family, protecting the family. That's what it's about for her. You know what I mean? But on the other hand, I understand where Jackson's coming from too, as far as being more attentive to Jocelyn. Like I said, Carly's trying to be everything to everybody. She's trying to be a mother. She's trying to be a mob boss. She's trying to be a businesswoman. Because remember, she still co-owns the hotel. She's trying to be everything. You know, she has to think. It's like when you're in a position that Carly's in right now, your brain is moving nonstop. Because you got the business over here, you got the mafia over here, you got the hotel over here. Even though I'm sure Olivia can handle things, but still, you got the hotel here, you got the kids here, you got Jason over there. It's a lot on her brain. It's a lot on her brain right about now. She's still grieving over Sonny. It's a lot on her. She still has an infant child that she's taking care of. That's a lot. You know, your brain is constantly moving. So right now is not the time for Jax to be chastising her. Like, I get it. She needs to be more attentive to Jocelyn right now because this is huge for Jocelyn. Going to college, picking a college, it's huge. And this is a time more than ever that Jocelyn needs Carly's full attention right now. You know what I mean? Because she needs help. She's going to need help with this transition. I get it. But I think Jax is being a little extreme, though. He's sitting here talking about, oh, I feel Jocelyn should come stay with me at least until she go to college. Jax, is all of that really necessary? Like, you've already tried the whole move in with me thing, and Jocelyn really didn't want to. So it's like, why are we pushing this again? Why? And I honestly feel deep down, Jax is still not over the fact that Carly got full custody of Jocelyn 10 years ago. I feel like he's still not over that. A part of me feels like he still holds resentment towards that he lost custody and Carly won. I still feel like a piece of him still is upset about it. Even though it happened 10 years ago, it's like, you know, the way Jax acts sometimes, it's like he ain't over that. Especially the way he lost custody because of Sonny, I don't really think he's over it. So I think he's been slowly trying to get Jocelyn fully into his life more. You know what I mean? Like slow, slow burned. But I think he definitely has been trying it. But I feel like Jax just needs to calm down because at the end of the day, he knows how Carly is. He knows Carly's gonna protect his kid. Her kids. He knows that. Um, And what kind of stuck out to me was the fact that Jack said that, he's starting to see what Carly is becoming and he's not liking it and he doesn't want Jocelyn to turn out like Carly. Um, he hopes that their daughter never is anything like Carly. I felt like that was a smack to Carly face. I mean, Carly has her ways about her that I personally can't stand, but she's not evil. She's not horrible. You know what I'm saying? She has her moments where she can be just dreadful sometimes, but it's like to say, "Oh, I don't want our daughter to be like you at all." I mean, Carly got some good qualities about her too. I feel like Jax was just kind of overreacting a little bit. I understand his concerns, don't get me wrong, but it was like, calm your ass down. Like, relax yourself. Um, so anyway, moving on from that, Alexis is keeping herself pretty busy in Pentonville. She helped her cellmate, with her parole hearing and stuff. Um, and now she worried about her new cellmate and whatnot. I would be worried too, because you never know who might come up in that cell next. You might get Big Dorothy or somebody up in there trying to take your virginity. Alexis gotta learn how to fight. You gotta learn how to keep strong in there. Do something. But Sean was sitting there talking about he might not even go, that he wasn't planning on going to his parole hearing. I said, Sean, you better get your ass up in there and get out of there. You better go to that parole hearing and get yourself released. But after he explained why he didn't want to go, I totally understood Sean's reasoning for not wanting to go, because he felt like, when you're at a parole hearing, you got to be all remorseful about what you did and, show that you're ready to re-enter society, and he's ready to go back, into society, into the world. But I get where he's coming from. He can't show remorse over something he didn't do. Like, how do you show remorse over something, a crime you didn't commit? And I agree with him on that. I totally agree. I totally agree. Um, But, Alexis was pissed that he wasn't trying to fight to get released. And she wanted to help him. And, she was literally begging Sean to let, her help him, get him out of there. And Nicholas had the audacity to show up. I said, Nicholas, get your ass out of there, because that man is innocent. Nicholas, of all people, know that. I hope Sean whoop his ass, because you've known that man has been innocent. That man's been sitting in that jail for 5 years over a shooting he did not do. And Nicholas knew he didn't do it. And you let that man rot. If I was Sean, I would put the fear of God in his little princely ass. I surely would. I surely would. I would get him. And Nicholas kind of pissed me off anyway today when he was talking to Ava, talking about something, he feel like it's time that they got Cyrus looking over his shoulder. Nicholas, nobody's afraid of you, sir. Cyrus, of all people, is not afraid of you. I look at you, Nicholas, and there's nothing about you that makes me scared. Nothing about you. Absolutely nothing. Like, you do not make me quiver with fear. Nicholas need to understand something. You are as soft as butter. He need to realize that. You are SOF capital T. Ain't nobody scared of you, Nicholas. Go sit it down now. Sit it down. So anyway, moving on from that. Trina, I love when Trina and Ava be having their conversations and stuff, because Ava didn't realize that Trina was such a romantic and all that. But my thing is, Trina needs to stop blaming herself. Like, she finds any little thing to blame herself for, and it's like, you are not responsible. She feels like her and Portia are the reason Jordan and Curtis are getting a divorce. You're really not the reason at all. That's not on you. It was a lot going on that had nothing to do with her. It has nothing. Them getting a divorce has nothing to do with Trina. It has nothing to do with Portia. Absolutely nothing. And that's what Trina need to realize. Stop blaming yourself for everything. Calm down. Portia definitely wants her some Curtis, because they were sitting at the bar reminiscing about how they first met, and he basically picked her up at a bar and stuff. I was like, Portia, you want that man. You might as well just go ahead and admit it, that you trying to ride that baloney pony again. You might as well just go ahead and say it, because that's obviously what you want, so just go ahead and do it. Because she was looking at that man like, if it wasn't people up in that room, she would have ripped open his shirt and threw him on that bar right there. You could tell by the way she was looking at him. She wanted something. She wanted it right then and there. You could tell by the way they was looking at each other. So anyway, the sad part was when Curtis went to go see Jordan and stuff, and he handed her the divorce papers. I was like, oh my God. It's like, for real, like, they really are getting a divorce. I was like, damn, so there's no hope for y'all to reconcile at all? I was like, damn, so he really serious about this divorce? I was like, damn. So anyway, moving on from that, Dante done popped his ass up at the PCPD. He had on his good suit, clean shave, haircut. I said, okay, hair all greasy and slick. I said, all right, Dante, you clean up nice. Okay. It's good to see him back at work and stuff, but you already know, when Dante is in that cop mode, he could be a pain in the ass. Like, he really could. Like, Dante be working my nerves sometimes as a cop. I mean, I respect that he a good cop, but it's like, damn. Like, can you turn it off a little bit? Like, he be doing too much. Because they trying to figure out how Jason knew that Britt was in trouble and stuff. They going over surveillance footage in an effort to find him. So Sam running around calling Spinelli and all that, trying to figure out where Jason at. So she finally figure out where he at. Um, that he was under Cassadine Nature Preserve or whatever at that barn or whatever that they got, one of them little Cassadine properties. So she figured it out. And when she went to the gas station or whatever, she saw Dante talking to the gas station attendant. And when she went up to him, Dante was like, "Oh, I must be on the right track then." He knew he was on the right track of finding Britt and Jason. He knew it. Because if Sam was popping up, he knew Jason wasn't far. And he knew it. And Sam little simple self sitting there trying to beg him, talking about, "Oh, why you can't just take Britt back to Port Charles and I just take Jason somewhere safe." Dante was like, "Look, I'm doing my job. I don't trust you. I can't work with you. Just go on back to Port Charles." Sam was annoying me. I mean, listen, I'm trying to be sympathetic here, but at the end of the day, this is why Carly didn't tell her where Jason was and wasn't trying to help her. Because in the mafia, it's like any other organization. It's like the police. It's like all of that. Once you leave, you retire, you quit, you do what you do, you get fired, whatever. Once you're out, you are now considered a civilian amongst that group. You are a civilian now. That's what she is in the mafia. You are now a civilian. Once she broke ties romantically with Jason and said, "Oh, I can't deal with this, I can't handle this no more," you are now a civilian. That means you do not get any more access to what they know, to what they're up to, what plans they got. You are done. Access denied. You are now his ex-wife and baby mama. That's all you are to that man now. Well, I'm pretty sure she's more than that to Jason, obviously. But it's like that's your role now. That's your title. You have no more, information access to that. So it's like, calm down. And this is all on Sam. It's like, I don't understand why she's so frustrated that people won't clue her in on what's going on. It's like, that's what you wanted. You want it out, you're out. And she had the nerve to say, "Oh, well, Britt can't handle this." And Sam, but you broke up with him because you could no longer handle it. You no longer wanted to deal with this anymore. The shootings, the craziness, the explosions. You didn't want any parts of it anymore. So why are you wasting your time looking for him? And I understand they have a son together. I get it. But Jason's safe. He good. It's like, come on now. Mind your business and go on about your business. Go about your day. Um, but it was smart on Sam's part though when Dante was talking to that attendant at the gas station and she poked holes in his tire. I did have to give her kudos for that because I said that was a good plan. That was good moves. Like she poked holes right up in his tire to slow his ass down, and she got to Jason and Britt on time because as soon as they was leaving that barn, they bumped into Sam. As soon as they opened that door, I said, "Uh oh, I would love to be a fly in the wall for that conversation." But I always do like the Jason and Britt scenes though, because Britt finally opened up to Jason about what's going on with her, and she feared that she got the same disease as Faison, but she was too scared to take the test and stuff because she was too scared to know the results. Um, and Jason was just reassuring her, like letting her know, "You're not your father. You're not ever going to turn into your father." Um, I understand. She's been avoiding getting the test. I get it because sometimes you just don't want to know. And I do love their scenes. Like I said, I love the scenes, but Britt gotta understand something. I do agree with Jason. When you are on the run, you cannot be spending all that time in those places. You got to move. Like you gotta move. Like you got to skit that dough. You got to get the hell on somewhere before you get in troubles. You gotta skedaddle. But I enjoyed this episode though. Hit the comment section, let me know what y'all thought about it, and I'll see y'all all later. Have a great day. Peace.